Okay, and so to AIM listed CleanTech Lithium, two lithium companies in a row. They're developing a faster to produce and greener form of lithium using direct extraction techniques in the mountains of Chile. The company's intention is to produce material quantities of battery-grade lithium from 2025 onwards with near zero carbon emissions and low environmental impact. CleanTech has two prospective lithium projects entirely controlled by the company. Those are Laguna Verde and Fransisco Basin projects, located in the Lithium Triangle, the world's center for battery-grade lithium projects. And it is developing a third. Aldo Boitano, CleanTech Lithium CEO, he joins us from Australia, which unfortunately means that he's got up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it's 3 a.m. here, but I'm very delighted to be invited once again.
3 a.m. Aldo, and how are you feeling?
I stay with the jet lag, so I work during the day, and then I go up again and then sleep again. I'm fine.
Did you manage to hear some of the Atlantic Lithium presentation?
Yes, all the presentations, and specifically Atlantic Lithium, a company who got dual listed here very recently. And
so how about I kick off my this is rude because you've not done your presentation yet, but how do CleanTech differ from Atlantic?
Well, we produce lithium out of brine. We have I know they're doing their best to have the green credentials and ESG and all that, but we aim to be the greenest lithium producer of the world with the use of renewable energy and a direct lithium extraction technology that we've been working for many years and have proven in our case. So it is different. Most of the world's lithium is being produced out of spodumene, and we intend to change that with more brine, clean, green production.
Great. Okay, now off you go. You do the presentation, and then we shall pick up our conversation after that. Thank you, Aldo.
Yeah. This we just started with our vision to seek to be the greenest lithium supplier to the EV battery market, and at the same time we're the most advanced project in Chile that will go to market. We presented this in other times. Just a snapshot of the three projects we have. One of them a greenfield exploration in northern Chile, close to Salar de Atacama. And then the most two developed ones, Laguna Verde and Fransisco Basin, they both account for 2 million tons of resources of LCE, and 800,000 of them are indicated and measured. We control the whole basins. There's no competing lithium projects. That's very important for direct lithium extraction, where you can re-inject the brine and you have just one hydrogeological model on your own mining rights, your own tenements. And we don't have a significant flora or fauna at the elevation. We are 4,300 meters, and there's no indigenous communities on site. We have an experienced board and management. We just sent an RNS yesterday in Australia, today in the UK, of all the team and expansion of the team and what we've been doing. Just to recap, we're listed on the AIM. We raised 9.6 between pre-IPO and the IPO, and we did a very successful raising in the UK of 12.3 in November. The board, very experienced, our chairman, CFO, non-executive, myself, and Jason Baverstock and myself, the co-founders. I have a background in renewable energy. I'm a civil industrial engineer. Developed 3 projects that are being built that account for more than 800 megawatts of clean energy in the northern Chile, close to our projects. So we spent the 5.6 million pounds that we raised on the IPO on work we're doing at both more developed projects, Laguna Verde and Fransisco Basin, with environmental impact studies, with base studies at both. Scoping study of Laguna Verde, it's about to be finished. We've been working on it. We're going to release it very soon. We produce 1 kilo of battery grade with our own resin. We now sign up with Sun Resin, the largest resin producer of the world, and at the same time, the one most advanced in direct lithium extraction with producing plants. We applied successfully for the Llamara license area, a big 344 square kilometers. We're finalizing that process. That takes some time, as the person before me explained. We have a new maiden resource at the Fransisco Basin. We're mobilizing the team as we speak. We had to do some improvement on the roads as the winter was going away, and then have an upgraded resource in Laguna Verde. And I'm going to tell you the exciting things we're doing right now. We're drilling right now at Laguna Verde, 2 holes near to the lake. Just gonna stop for a second. There's some ludicrous, laughable news out there that we're gonna drill the lake, 77,000 tons of lithium, and when we have 1.5 underneath in subsurface aquifer, the lake Laguna Verde just serves the purpose of sampling and things like that. We don't want to touch that whatsoever. But every once and then, that comes an analyst that say things like that. But so to expand the resource and reserve, and both projects we're drilling, doing some more extended geophysics. We're doing, we already received a small pilot unit plan from Belgium, or from a subsidiary from Sunresin in China, and we're setting it up to produce small quantities per month of lithium battery grade. We're also putting the purchase order for a larger unit, and that will produce 1 ton of lithium per month, some 6 to 8 months from now. And we have hold off on strategic partners and offtakes. We're going to engage in those conversations as we finish the scoping studies. We're starting the PFS with Worley Parson. But again, our credentials, lowest environmental impact, directly supplied to the EV market. I already spoke about the projects. You can see the new drilling bores, LB05 in the red color and LB06 in the red color, right into the lake, drilling horizontally. We're doing it a little bit different from the previous season. We're starting with 20-inch holes, going what is called a telescopic drilling. We already have LB06 to the east of the basin, completed the first 50 meters, cemented the bottom, and we're going to go all the way down to some 500 to 600 meters with an 8-inch casing that would allow us for pump test and further upgrade the resource. We're going to be telling the market the drilling results as they come out, and then of course the York updated resource. LB05, the same thing. We're drilling simultaneously in this basin with two rigs. We have a very good campsite. We had a board visit. The whole board had a meeting in Chile, came to visit the sites, were at site, and then met with authorities, local authorities. I'll expand more a little bit as we go into that. At Copiapó, the nearest mining town, and then also in Santiago, very, very positive results. Again, all part of our RNS that was released today in the UK. Fransisco Basin, we're going to be drilling 2.5 holes, finish FBO2 and then FBO3 and 4. Again, simultaneously with Laguna Verde. We're setting up camp, we're mobilizing equipment. We intend to start drilling December 20th. We need to do some road improvement as the winter was much stronger than before. Not us, by independent analysts from our brokers, Canaccord and Fox Davis, have said that we'll move between the two sites and the drilling campaigns from 2 to somewhere to 4 or 5 million tons of resources. But more importantly, and it's based for the scoping studies, we want to have most of that indicated and measured. The base numbers for the scoping studies, Laguna Verde finish almost, and Fransisco Basin to be the first quarter of next year, have a baseline of 20,000 tons per year production for each of the sites. Llamara, it's a greenfield project. We've had all the license applications. We're finding we have for sure we have a preference rights on the mining, and we need the final stamp on the licenses so we can go drilling. We'll do a 1 drill campaign to make certain that what the geophysics indicates that we have in that lower magenta color, and we have a high grade of brine down there, and we'll see based on the high conductivity, low resistivity, that brine, how much lithium it has. It could be a game changer. It's too early to say, but again, it's 344 square kilometers, double our 2-hour sites combined. And there's lithium in the surface, there's geophysics that suggests there's brine underground. It's a big subsurface aquifer, and we'll go there. I started saying in our commitment to environmental, work with a combination of renewable energy and DLE. DLE, direct lithium extraction, has been around since 1998 in a salar in Argentina called Livent. They don't have evaporation ponds, where 50 square kilometers or so are very aggressive. At the same time, they're depleting the subsurface aquifers. We'll take the brine up, we'll extract it with an organic resin, no chemicals added, wash out that lithium in the resin, send back into the subsurface aquifer with very good hydrological model, the brine without the lithium. I can explain more on the process, but we're one of the only ones in the world to answer the questions about DLE. We started in 2017 with Sunresin, who we now signed an MOU, the largest lithium DLE manufacturing and installations in the world, with 3 running factories, and then 1 in China, one in Argentina that is being built as we speak. We sent back-end samples to Lilac in California, EnergyX in Texas, Arionics in France, and Summit Nanotech and Purlucid in Canada. Out of all of them, Sunresin is the only one who is a traditional mining vendor. They sell you the resin, the pilot plant. We bought a small unit, larger pilot plant. We bought a larger one, and they'll manufacture you the factory. In our case, we're looking for two factories of 2 plants of 20,000 tons per year. But I started the sentence saying that we can answer the question. You can ask us, of course, maybe an NDA is needed, how much water consumption we have, what are the different steps of the DLE, the layout of the plant, the energy consumption, the water consumption, the mass balance. Not all companies can answer that. There's a lot of movement in the companies proclaiming all the good things about DLE that you have at the resin level, 95% recovery, overall process 80 to 85, that's double, and then the traditional evaporation ponds. You have hours to produce lithium instead of 320, 30 days of the various precipitation on the evaporation ponds. But they cannot answer the questions of how they're doing it. And we've successfully produced 1 kilo of battery grade, and we're going to be going very soon on an ongoing basis, producing lithium battery grade with both our properties. I already mentioned this. This is our agreement with the Sunresin. We met with them a very deep and transparent meeting in Santiago, Chile, just a week ago with all the board. Remember, our chairman, Steve Kessler, moved from an idea into production, the largest 3 copper mines of the world, Escondida and Collahuasi, where was the first CEO, and there Chile and Tomino in Peru, the largest uranium project in the world in Namibia, and the largest ionic exchange plant, and also the largest gold company in South Africa. But he's a doctoral degree in hydrometallurgy, and so he asked lots of very relevant questions that were all answered by Sunresin. And Sunresin, more importantly, said that we're the most advanced project they're working, and they're very pleased with the relationship we built since 2017. So very, very excited about that. This is what I said. This is the 3 Sunresin lakes with low-grade lithium, producing lithium in China. On top of that, Hombre Muerto, Livent since 1998. And this is all the comparison of the different companies. And there's a lot of change in the market. There's companies who started with a proprietary work, and they switched to a vendor. We turned down a year and a half ago, a little bit more than a year, we turned down an offer of Lilac to take some equity exchange from us in exchange of they financing a pilot plan and by themselves and a PFS by Hatch. Their pilot plan also will get to the 10 to 15,000 parts per million concentration. They didn't go the chemical route all the way to battery grade. But long story short, we turned them down. We felt that we knew more with our own knowledge, and then the knowledge that we were working with Sunresin, and we went on. And I think we're proven right. We're more advanced in that relationship with that many others. I'm very pleased with that. The previous conversations of today is about infrastructure. We have excellent infrastructure. We have renewable solar plants nearby, but most importantly, that can be taken to our to our projects via high and low tension power lines with a substation in Fransisco Basin, just a kilometer away. In mining terms, also very close, 52 kilometers from Laguna Verde to a substation that's a very short distance that will be covered on a power purchase agreement with vendors, and we've already initiated conversations. The line, in that case of Laguna Verde, will go will go underground. We don't want to create not only have low footprint environmentally, but also visually. So very, very excited with all this. We've stepped up on our team and our work with ESG focus. We're working with the local communities, again, who are not at site, but they're 2 hours from site, and we drive through them and working together with them. We have, just because we're hiring the best talent we can, we have more women than men working in CleanTech at various positions, hydrogeological work, engineering, and so on. We're very ambitious and very committed, and we have a very committed and developed team. I'll finish with Chile and the importance of prime mining jurisdiction. We had very, very positive results out there with all our board, with the local authorities on Copiapó. How important is that stuff we're doing. We're already engaging with the local university to step up their careers so we can hire them in the near future. We aim to be in production in 2025. We're being on roundtables with people in charge of energy, treasury, mining, to speed up the permitting, specifically environmental, that we're working. We have an office there. We're moving setting up our operations headquarters there, and very, very, very positive with everybody from the highest positions, governor, presidential delegate, all the way into community talks. And that same positive response was held in Santiago with the mining ministry and other authorities, again, all part of an RNS. Why I said this? Because Chile really wants to increase and increase the production. Us and others who will follow are important that we have green credentials, and so we tickle all the boxes with the green credentials, with the technology, then how advanced the project is. So we're very excited about the good reception of the government, and we expect news on that front. That's what I just said. Yeah, we're aligned perfectly with the government agenda. And the fact that we're not depleting the aquifers, small footprint, and no harm to the environment, it's good news for us and for the government and for the whole world. Where you can trace where lithium is coming from, and the aim of having green lithium is very important, especially on the automakers committed to carbon neutral. Again, we're holding off of having a strategic offtake or other sorts of conversations, but we've been approached by household names, some automakers, battery makers from around the planet. We're holding those conversations that we have a value of the projects with the scoping studies and then on the PFS. Don't need to expand on the demand for lithium. It's Atlantic Lithium had a wonderful presentation on this, how it's growing and the price and everything, historical high prices. We're for our estimates, we're going with a much more conservative number of a price of per ton, 22,500. This is the market. I said hard rock is far away from brine. Most, if not all, of the brine projects that will come into development and manufacturing and then exploiting lithium will shorten that gap maybe with hard rock, but more importantly is us. I hope others follow with really a low footprint. A lot of movement on the lithium space, a lot of acquisitions and deals. We aim to finance the project with some of those household names, some equity. The capex requirement for a 20,000 ton per year plant is $400 million. We're very well funded right now, up to the stage we are, all the way into finish the PFS and then raise for construction. We raise again. The latest raise is 12.3 million pounds in November, just a month ago. That's the path going forward. Like I said, resource upgrades, scoping studies, pilot plant for both sites to be a small unit and then a larger one, and then start producing significant numbers of lithium per month, and that will be feeding into future buyers so they can fine-tune their production with batteries and so on. So Laguna Verde a little bit more advanced, Fransisco Basin catching up, and Llamara will have an initial site survey, initial drilling, and we'll see how we go from that. So just to summarize, short lead time to production, 2025, proven DLE technology, as and resin pilot plants, 1 kilo battery grade, excellent infrastructure, roads, renewable power, water supplies, cell phone coverage, paved highways, etc. We have the right to operate, again, because there's no indigenous communities on site and unique or significant flora and fauna to restart. The government, the stakeholders, very supportive, and we keep those conversations going, and they're going very well and very positive. We're financed, as I just said, we're waiting for a strategic partner and offtake when we feel is the right time and a strong ESG focus. With this, I'm happy to take questions.
Aldo, thank you very much indeed. Thanks. That was well worth getting up in the middle of the night for. Thank you so much. If green lithium is to an extent unique, to what extent can you actually charge a little bit more, charge a premium in the marketplace for it?
That's been a conversation we've been having. I think we can. I mean, I'm sure with all regulations happening in the US, in Europe, everywhere, where they say we want the battery components, we want it to be greener. Anything if we, as we aim our in production 2025, we should get a premium price. All right, if not, a lot of purchase orders, a lot of interest in purchase orders for lithium.
And I suppose that's the reason that you're not entering into an offtake agreement at the moment, because there's a degree of uncertainty as to what a premium you might actually potentially be able to charge. Is that a fair comment?
And at the same time, we want to have full valuation of the projects. We want to have not right now we're a $60 million company, US $1 million company. That's our market cap. But we really want to increase that significantly. We're heavily undervalued. But as
you think there's a potential for re-rating of CleanTech?
Yeah, it will go up certainly with everything we're doing. We're again putting most of the money on the ground. We're, for example, at the management level, we don't have any cash incentives, just stock options. We're still at the size we are in the lower percentile of salaries being paid, and very committed. We have 12 employees in Chile, going up to 20 before the end of the year, beginning of next year. Some 40s, between 40 and 60 contractors in both drilling sites. And we've delivered. We've come out with the news of resource upgrade, the work we're doing, and now the scoping study will be the next. And that will trigger more formal conversations with off-takers and household names who want to come at the asset level with a certain percentage, and will help the finance. So that's a conversation on there.
So Adam B asks, when can we expect the scoping studies for Laguna Verde and Fransisco Basin?
Laguna Verde is 99% finished. We wanted to have it this week. We certainly will have it in the next 2 weeks or so. Fransisco Basin will be the first quarter of next year, but we're very, very close on Laguna Verde. I know we said that before. We're just wrapping up the last everything. I don't want to give a date, but within weeks. Within weeks.
Do take longer than you expect. So that's just a
lot of work. A lot of work. It's a thick document with a lot of things we're checking and asking.
If you were to give us a brief overview of how you get to production in 2025.
Yeah, we're going to be finishing
big milestones.
Environmental work, very importantly, with the consultant to the communities. We're already working. Have the PFS by Worley finished. The plant is being built in Argentina from some resin. Just to give you an example, it was 5 months. All the components, only 5 months since the purchase order from the company in Argentina until they were shipped. Every part and piece of that plant in 134 containers took only 5 months, and the construction is 9. So we aim to start construction in 2024 with the PFS, if not the FS.
Has that plant already been commissioned?
No. We have in our admission documents, we have the quotes and everything, but it's not very different from what they're doing in Argentina. The direct lithium extraction is nanofiltering at the beginning, then to take magnesium and calcium out, then the resin who wind cycles gets 95% of the lithium that is in the brine. The reinjection happens then, and you have a reverse osmosis, and you have forced evaporation, and then you have ionic exchange to take traces of boron and other things. So all plants are similar, even though the chemistry is different. What you do, you adjust the nanofiltering, you adjust the reverse osmosis, more importantly, you adjust the ionic exchange, you try with another resin. So we have quotes, we know about the layout, we know a lot of things about the plant, but we haven't put a purchase order. We're waiting to have a proper financing when we have
you mentioned very briefly that the board had an on-site at Laguna Verde.
Yes, it was a two-week trip. Very exciting. They saw everything. We stay at campsites at 4,300 meters.
I wish I was on your board.
Yes. Well, we're hands-on. We're very hands-on. Like I said, Steve has a big mind.
Catherine Wentworth is a non-exec director of yours, so presumably she was there.
Yeah. We're everybody, and then that work, and then the work with the local authorities and the communities and everybody, both at the local level in Copiapó, the mining
What were the takeaways from the visit? You were there for 2 weeks. You met the government. You met everybody. What were the takeaways? What were the big things that stand out for you?
Takeaways was, again, Chile is a prime mining jurisdiction with all the infrastructure, the welcoming of the government at a national level, local level for our project that is green. An outstanding team, 20-minute presentation of every single person on all the things we're doing, and very detailed. A review of all the on-site and all the stages of a project that will take us into production, all that path. Yeah, very, very, very exciting, very high-level conversations and very well received. Sun resin, the whole morning with them, going through every single detail of the process, the piloting plant that we're starting at small scale, the larger one, the plant itself. Yeah, very, very hands-on again, and we would not do it any other way. That's the way we are. Just
you had meetings on the ground with the Chilean government, I understand.
Yep.
Who did you meet, and how did those meetings go?
At the local level, we met with the presidential delegate, who's appointed by the president, the governor, who's the highest ranked person elected by the people, then the number two on the governor, then the mining regional leader, and the university. That's the whole thing at the local level. In Santiago, we met with the mining subsecretary, the deputy in mining ministry. We met with part of that cabinet of the mining ministry in London a couple of weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and set up these meetings. And then an array of companies. We met also with the local investors. We raised almost £1 million pre-IPO back in 2021 with a very respected and high influential Chilean investors. That's all we did.
Non-stop. That's plenty.
Non-stop 10 days visit. Very excited.
Very good. So Adam B and myself, I suppose. Adam B asks about your plans for the 1 ton a month LCE pilot plant. How's that progressing? Is the order close for this to start? Oh, that's right. We've just discussed that, haven't we? How does that tie into your current exploration and development program timeframes? So,
well, right now we're drilling in Laguna Verde with the idea of having an 8-inch case all the way down in a mix of blank and slotted bore, that it could be a production bore in the future. We're drilling simultaneously in Laguna Verde, and we're about to start. Our goal is to start on December 20th on Fransisco Basin. We're going to run again 2 drilling campaigns simultaneously simultaneously drilling in one of the sites. And on top of that, as soon as we get the license, we'll drill in Llamara. Not many companies can say that, to spend all the money on the ground on update resources and doing it all at the same time. So yeah, Llamara, it's a little different. It's at 1,000 meters. We control all the sub part of the basin. Excellent infrastructure, the Pan American Highway, all cell phone coverage and electricity. But it's far north, so we're waiting for the final licenses to be granted, the stamp from the court, the mining court, and then go and drill. So it's all about putting the shareholders' money into updated resources, and at the same time, more developing of the technology. The team, all the permitting, working on the permitting, and getting authorities to know about us and their interest of moving us forward.
Okay, my final question. When I spoke to you initially, you said that these are very unique salars, and that simply weren't there were a finite number of them. Well, you've managed to come up with a third one. Is there any potential to find yourself a fourth?
Well, see, we keep on working. We keep on working, and the work is carrying out that we're serious. We do invest the money on the ground and on hiring the team and overseeing everything. And that makes people say, okay, I have this property. Will you take a look at it? And that happens every week, every single week. I know most of those salars. I'm a mountaineer also. I've been driving around, sampling, taking photos, reading maps, all through that part of the lithium triangle that is in Chile, and very, very open to receive some more. But right now we're concentrated in our two most developed projects. We added this third one. We'll see how it goes, and from there find a more proper, if it's positive, found a more proper drilling campaign.
Aldo Boitano, we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us today. That was absolutely fantastic.